to the show. Good to have you here. Well, what a what an exhilarating 24 hours it's been. That's all I can say. I can't believe how many people have posted already on the new Whaleshares chain. It's amazing. It's great to see tons already on day one, officially day one of the new chain launch. It's amazing. A lot of people have obviously been waiting in the background. So it's nice to see some new names and new faces. It's good to see some people who I haven't seen for a while that I've bumped into on the new chain. So amazing stuff. Amazing first day. Lots of people coming in now. That's good. Good to see. So thank you guys for joining tonight. It's a really important show, I think, given the fact that we have just launched the new Whaleshares chain. Now, I know there's been a few teething, some people have experienced some teething problems, and we're going to address some of those a little later on in the show. So PowerPix will hopefully address those problems in a little while. I'm going to hand over to him. He's going to give us the new segment, and he's going to kind of be doing a rundown of the most common questions that have cropped up and the most common issues that people have faced with registration and claiming. And he's going to do that in just a moment when I hand over to him. So after the new segment, I shall then be handing over tonight for our crypto session with Chief Mapster. He's back. He's going to be doing his coffee and crypto session. So that will come after the new segment. And then after that, I'm delighted to have on the show a guy called Butcoins. Some of you may know him. I think a lot of you won't. He's in a great server that I've just recently joined. Well, I joined a few months ago, but I've just recently started talking to people in there. It's an amazing server. We're going to be talking about that in a moment. And he's going to be talking about himself and what he does and what he wants to achieve. And then that sort of leads me on to the ending. No, it doesn't. I mustn't forget Savo. Gosh, sorry. After we've had the interview, of course, we're going to be having some music with Savo, and he's brought a very interesting person on the show. I'm looking forward to that indeed. So we're going to have some music, and then, of course, we're going to have the final community curation segment, or the cruel curation segment. It's the last one because I am replacing that segment, but I will tell you more about that later on. I think you're going to really enjoy that one. But as I say, I'll tell you more a bit later on. So yes, here we go, guys. I think I'm going to hand over to PowerPix, who's going to give us an update and hopefully answer a few of your queries in relation to the launch. PowerPix, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Freedom. How's everyone doing?
Well, I'm pretty amazing. I'm loving everything at the moment. But how are you doing?
Doing good. Very busy. We have late nights the last couple nights, but everything so far is working out good. All the witness nodes are up and running. Chains and servers are doing fine. So looks like we had a good launch into our mainnet.
Well, yes, and it all kicked off last night, didn't it? You know, it was amazing to see it happen, and it was a great launch, nice atmosphere, and we've seen some great things already. But I'll hand over to you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just want to go over some things, make sure everyone knows, what we have going on. Of course, what's going to happen from now on is we're changing over to having all the official announcements coming from our new main account on the Whaleshares.io platform, and that account is at Whaleshares. So all the announcements and updates that you need to know about the platform, what's going on, what's launching, and what's official, will now come from that account, and then everyone else can share it, of course, to their own blogs if they see fit. And last night, as you mentioned, we did move into mainnet, and we have our official launch announcements that came out last night that you can find on that account as well. The first one we have up is, of course, the announcement about the pre-launch moving to open beta, and we have a second post, which is the share drop claim announcement, and it gives you the instructions of how to do that. So just for the fact that we're also streaming, I'm going to quickly jump into that pre-launch open beta post. So as I'm talking about it, I'll be showing that on screen as well. But some of the features that are highlighted in this post, just so everyone's aware of how this is going to work, things are different on the Whaleshares platform. This is not about, upvoting and delegations and all this kind of crazy stuff and bid bots that we are used to and saw happen over on Steemit. The Whaleshares platform is about rewarding and sharing content within your circle of friends and networks of people who have similar interests, whether it's a community of artists, photographers, whatever that is. So some of the features that you'll see different on the website that were launched in our pre-launch now for open beta is the fact that rewarding is sharing and sharing is rewarding. So we're getting rid of the term upvote. That's actually being purged from the site as we speak. I think about half of them are pulled out already yesterday, and we still have a couple more to get out of the site. But we're doing away with those terms, and it's now going to be called rewarding and sharing. And you'll see the icon on posts now. There's no more upvote button. It's the kind of looped circle with the WLS symbol inside. That's our whale share button. And when you click that button, you will now reward the post and share it to your own blog at the same time. So yes, in the first couple of days, it's going to make your own personal feed a little bit cluttered. But the idea of having this right now, we're going to have a sort feature that's coming, but we want to kind of let this sit, say, through the first couple of days, just so people understand the importance of what we're trying to teach. And what we're trying to teach is, if you feel that content is good enough to be rewarded, you should be proud enough to share it. And that's kind of the mood that we want to set as the platform kind of starts to grow and gets out there and more people are on board. We want to kind of teach that from the beginning. So we have a different mentality on the platform. So you're gonna see what you reward on your platform. The people will see what you've rewarded, because it's not like you can just give that reward and nobody sees you did that. People will know, because that post will show up on your own blog. Comments will work as they always have. You're just rewarding comments; they don't get shared. That would be a little bit silly, but so comments are going to be the same. Now, one of the other key things that are different on the platform is going to be no delegation. All right. We know that this has become a root of a lot of evil and problems over on the Steemit platform. It has led to bid bots, voting rings, sock puppet accounts, flag wars, and all kinds of other negative behavior that we're trying to discourage. We don't want that to move to this new platform. So for those reasons and a few more, there is no delegation on the Whaleshares platform. Okay, what you earn is what you have. Okay. Flagging. All right. Again, we're about positivity. We want to have an environment about sharing and rewarding. We don't want all kinds of fights and stuff going on. But there is still the necessity of kind of like flagging or marking a post for spam or plagiarism. So we still have that there, but we don't want it to be used as a grudge match situation that we've seen on the other platform. So for that reason, flagging will cost 3 times more than your sharing. Okay, so if you consider in terms of vote, it would be 3 times your cost in vote weight. So it will cost 3 times the amount of your mana, which is your voting power, or your rewarding power. So I get used to it too. Your rewarding power to flag than it is to do a standard reward on a post or a comment. Now, we also have an adjusted power down algorithm. At the moment, power down is disabled, and it will remain disabled. That was scheduled until October 1st. We're still in that 2-week pre-launch period. Then the full launch happens on September 1st, and then through the month of September, there'll be no power downs. When the power downs are activated, we have a different algorithm that's been applied to the blockchain, and this will basically extend the way power down feature works. Instead of incentivizing people to create a bunch of posts, get a bunch of rewards, and then jump out, the power down process is worked on an algorithm where your max power down amount is 100%, so it's 100 minus the current inflation rate of the blockchain. And the inflation rate started on day 1 at 100%, and at the end of the first year, it will be down to 50%. So every day it's ticking off, pieces of that percent on its way down to 50% at the end of 1 year. And every year, the inflation rate halves itself down until it gets down to 5%. So that's the way the power down algorithm will work, which means in the early days of the platform, if you were to initiate a power down, say on October 1st, you were to power down, you would have, let's say you had a constant amount of 1,000 whale stake. Powering down on that first week would only give you, say, let's for example, 10 whale share WLS tokens on that power down. But if you started the power down the following week instead, you might get 10.5. and that's the way it's going to work. So the longer the platform is in existence, the greater the power down effect will be, and the more you'll be able to actually um, power down and move in and out of the platform. So that's just to kind of also help when we're talking about this long-term vision, where we don't want people jumping in the site, using it as an ATM like you see on Steemit. We want people to be in for the long term, because we're also trying to encourage people, like many of you know now, to make your own whale token. And the whale token, they are backed by your whale stake, which is your vested power in the platform. All the post and reward payouts are going to be vested. We do not have a liquid currency for payout rewards. Okay? Everything is vested, and when you want to move it out for life expenses or whatever, you'll start that power down process and move it out. And that process will work through various gateways. We know OpenLedger is one of the big ones now that's creating a gateway for us, and that will be ready before October 1st when we have our power down unlocked. So you'll be able to transfer out through the gateway like that, where it'll transfer to, say, rootx.wls on the DEX, the BitShares DEX. Then you can trade it for BitShares or jump out to whatever other method you need to go out to fiat if that's what you need. So those things are all coming. They're all planned. They're all kind of rolling out on schedule. Just for the terminology point, which is also in the post, remember WLS is our native token. That will be the liquid token that you can move in and out to the DEX. Whale stake is your vested power. This is what you're going to use to power up. Like I said, all post rewards and comment rewards are already staked, so they're given to you powered up. But that is what's going to help. That, along with your mana, which is your rewarding power, that's calculating the value of the rewards you can give out. So the greater your whale stake, the more your rewards are worth long term when you give them out. Now you'll also see on the website we don't have the dollar symbol, the USD dollar symbol on our website. We're going to stick to that, where the platform is rewarding you in the native token. You're being rewarded in WLS, not in dollars. So we don't want any kind of we don't want to set that mindset that the post rewards are equal to dollars, because they might not be. That's not the way it works out. Later on, the free market will establish the value of what WLS is worth, and then there'll be that adjustment where X, it might be, say, 5 cents each, whatever it is when it starts. So it won't be 1 WLS equals $1. It'll be the appropriate calculation. And at that time, we'll add a conversion value in USD in the wallet only, but you will always see post and reward payouts as WLS. Okay. Now mana, like I said, that's your rewarding power. That's the one that gets reduced every time you reward or reward share a post, and it gets recharged daily, assuming by how much you use it. Now this is something that we did come up with many months ago, and many of you have already seen in the latest hard fork update on Steemit that they pretty much stole that from us, because mana has nothing to do with Steemit or their environment, but it is what it is. So we were actually the first to have it called mana, using it in that terminology, and we have it up and running already. Whale tokens is the official name for any of the user issued assets that you're going to be seeing being released by people in the community. Those are tokens on the BitShares DEX that people will use to reward others in the community for different initiatives, contests, challenges, or individual kind of groups that you're a part of. It could be photography, art, writing, things like that. Those tokens are backed by the holder's whale stake, just like we're used to seeing our Whaleshare tokens and BeyondBit tokens from Official Fuzzy. They work the same way, but they'll be working on the Whaleshares.io platform. There are some people that will have whale tokens. I think Fabs is one of them with Lit, which will work on multiple chains. So they'll work on Steemit as well as on Whaleshares. So it'll be up to the token holder or token creator to decide where the use of that token is. My personal token as Power Picks will only be on the Whaleshares platform. So each person will have their own post describing how their tokens are used. Now we did release our version of the white paper, which is called the Whale Paper, and a link to that is up in the official announcement post, and it's also pinned here in Discord as well in the official announcements channel. So if you want to give that a read, you can kind of find out what the thinking is and the philosophy behind this platform and the long-term vision of what it is. This is just the first iteration of the platform. This was making the initial changes to get the ball rolling on this social sharing platform community. Okay, so read the white paper and you get all the details and everything else. So now some of the bigger questions people have been having is we are now in the share drop claim period that started yesterday as well, and this has been rolled out in phases. That post is there's also a post about that up on the official Whaleshares blog, and there are three different stages to this. The stage one is this first week, and in the first week, it's costing you 500 Whaleshare to claim and or create an account on the platform. Okay. Now there was a little bit of confusion in the beginning. The share process, the form that we have set up, which is on the WLS.services domain name, that is for BitShares accounts that were included in the share drop snapshot. That was back on August 1st when the blockchain, the BitShares blockchain had its snapshot taken. If you were holding Whaleshare tokens, BitShares tokens, or Brownie.pts tokens, you would have been included in that snapshot. The only circumstance that you may have been holding something and not included is if it was a fraction of a BitShare, which means you would have been below the minimum 0.01 WS, which is required to initiate the account, to stake the account. So those would not be included as well, like a dust account, they call it, or dust amount. Everyone else who had and were holding tokens, you can now start the process of claiming. So there was a little bit of confusion about that. So if you're not included in the share drop, you weren't holding tokens, or you just set up a brand new BitShares account recently and bought Whaleshare tokens to do this, it's not going to work. Okay, you have to.
Okay, so PowerPix, I'm going to just jump in. PowerPix, sorry, I'm just going to pause you there because this has been a bit of a sticking point. Let me give you an example. What if somebody had one Whaleshare or one BTS at the time of the snapshot? Would that qualify or not?
Yes, because in the calculations for that, one Whaleshare gave you 8.4 WLS, which is plenty of stake. You have 8.4 whale stake. The minimum whale stake to be vested in the PowerPin account is 0.01. And that's why you see all the accounts as we're coming in, we're starting with that trace amount, which is enough to get the account powered up. One full BTS, I think was 0.88 something. So that's also over the minimum WLS. So yes, one BTS, one Whaleshare would qualify you into that share, into that snapshot. It would be the people who had less than that, maybe fractions, that would miss that. So yeah, so that's something that it's one of those things where unless you know yourself that you did or did not hold at least one BTS, one Whaleshare, or one brownie point at the time of the snapshot, we don't know that ourselves. You know, like I can't just look that up somewhere myself. I'd have to go research the what is it, CryptoFresh or the blockchain on BitShares Explorer to hunt that information down. Yeah, so anyway, like I said, we have 3 phases for this. This first week, which carries through August 23rd, and we're going by the 0000 Zulu time, or a specific block on the chain, but through August 23rd, it's 500 Whaleshares. Then we'll move to phase 2, where it will half and drop down to only requiring 250 Whaleshare tokens, and that will take us through the end of through August 31st, bringing us into when we have our main launch, when the open beta basically ends and we move into the solid launch period, and the final changes that we want to have in place for that launch will be done by that time. At that point, the claiming process drops down to only one Whaleshare token, and this is allowing us to then onboard people at a faster rate. You don't need as many Whaleshare, and also helps all of us who are already in the community who are looking to help people. We have more leverage now because I'm actually holding the Whaleshare tokens that I have. Like I'm not claiming my personal share yet, probably until maybe next week when it reduces. So I want to use the most of my Whaleshare to help other people, say in the Steemit community or BitShares community, coming onto the platform who may not have a chance to even buy the Whaleshares tokens as they get used up or get held or retired. So I'm looking forward to that, where after the first, I'll be able to help people on board as well. Now, for anyone who makes a mistake in the claiming process, okay, like we do have tutorials. They are on that initial post and also on the FAQ of the website. So everything is there. walk through those tutorials. They are laid out super crystal clear, step by step, to get you through that claim process. If at any point something goes wrong, you sent the wrong amount, you put in the wrong memo for whatever reason, maybe it was a copy and paste and you didn't capture all of it as you copied and pasted it, those error, or like I said, or you weren't in the actual share drop, you weren't in the share drop snapshot, those transactions will automatically be refunded at the end of the claim period. That's already coded in to happen. I did check, they're not doing anything pre-advance or one-on-one refunds on those transactions. That will automatically happen at the end of the share drop period. So, you're not going to lose those Whaleshare tokens. They will be sent back to you at the end if you made a mistake. Now, if you have a valid share drop and you're doing a valid claim and account and everything goes through and everything works smooth, you don't get the Whaleshares back. That was the fee. They head back into the asset creation account and they actually are retired. So they're not going to be redistributed. So like I said, all this information is up on the website. We do have 2 different tutorials to walk you through it. And a lot of us are here in the Discord, as many of you found out last night and even today. We are here to help. So if you do have questions, don't feel ashamed or embarrassed to ask them. We've been helping people throughout the day. If you need, even if it comes down to, did I capture the right memo? Am I putting it to the right BitShares address? Just ask us. We did set up the help room here for the Claire share drop the share drop claim process. Just talk to one of us in there. The mods are in here 24 hours a day in rotation, and we'll help you guys. So don't feel don't be hesitant to ask us any questions. Now going forward, I'll just touch on a few things before we kind of open it up to questions if anyone wants to ask. There are more updates that are coming. Some I'm not really going to speak about yet because we kind of want to surprise you with them, but over the next week or 2, as we get to the first, there will be some more changes and features and functionalities that are being added to the platform. But one of them that we've already spoken about and is coming, it's just a matter of when they decide to make the update. Your main blog feed will be split. Okay, so you will have the ability to sort out your blog feed between your personal posts and the posts that you have shared. So even like I said, in the first couple of days, you're going to see that clutter. That's kind of just letting you feel it. We're letting that sink in, that rewarding a post is also sharing a post. If you feel confident enough and strongly enough to reward a post, you should be proud enough to share it. So we're kind of letting everybody see that, feel it, and let it sink in. And then we're going to release maybe a day or 2 or 3. I'm not sure really when it's scheduled. They're just going to activate that on the website, and then you'll have that sort function in your personal blog. You'll be able to see everything, your post plus the shared posts, or just sort it out and see your own personal posts. Because I know that's something too that people do talk about, saying, I want to help a lot of people, but I want my blog cluttered up with, they might be an artist and they don't want non-related art stuff on their blog. So yes, you will be able to see just your stuff separated out from everything you've shared. So that is happening, but it's one of those things where I'll keep repeating it, and you'll see me even typing it in the text here. We want to just drive it home. This is a rewarding and sharing platform. So we want to drive that point home. So if anyone has any questions, Freedom, if you have any points that you know of that you want me to discuss, or if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask me. Just jump on the mic.
I'm not going to add any more to your workload, PowerPix, because you've covered a lot there. I'm just going through some of the, I was just responding in the text chat actually to some of the issues. There is this separate issue that some people have had access, and you know about it. They've had problems accessing their BitShares account because of the password problem. And you've spoken to the BitShares team. At the moment, there's no resolution for that, but we will hopefully. I just want to ask if you can clarify that they will somehow be able to sort out the share drop for the whale stake. If they've got them in a BitShares account, they can't access because of this password issue.
Yeah, we did speak about that with the dev team. They're trying to hammer out because it almost reverts down to the honor system, because we really have no way to access those accounts. Like they say, you lose your keys, you lost your account. So we have no way of directly accessing it or reopening those accounts and giving you access to the account. So it almost starts to become an honor system. That's why we're working on it. A way that we can verify it might be people might have to pledge for, like we all know through community contests and challenges and stuff, we have given certain people tokens and rewarded them. So we know that this person is definitely related to that specific BitShares account. So we're looking at ideas that based on that criteria, we might be able to say, okay, go open up another BitShares account, maybe just change it by, add a 1 to the end of it, so it's very similar to the one you got locked out of. And through maybe a couple people verifying that they can vouch that that was the person's original account, the claim to the original locked out account might be able to be applied to the new account. So we're working on that. We really don't have a plan for it hammered out yet, but we're looking into options.
Okay, that's awesome. That
Yeah.
clarifies that. So the honeys, that's where we've got to with that one so far.
Yeah.
But we should hopefully be able to sort something out in terms of the share drop. I know that IntelliGuy wants to quickly come in with a question. IntelliGuy, are you there?
Yeah, I just got a quick question, and this is more for everybody else that might be looking. I saw some talk about it in the chat channel of why are all the votes worth 0, and how come, and what is, why is I saw Crazy Krista mention something to the effect of the reward pool takes time to accumulate. So in the beginning you're going to see a lot of zeros. Can you touch on that?
Yeah, definitely. That was something that, remember, when the chain moved from testnet to mainnet, everything got reset. When we moved from testnet 1 to testnet 2, it wasn't a complete reset. It was like a 80% reset. So you saw that people still held on to their stake in the testnet. As we moved to the mainnet, everything got erased that had to do with values, rewards, and rewarding and ranking stats like rep and things like that. So as this thing got fired up, as it was explained to me, it's almost the reverse of, we see vote decay on Steam and stuff. As the reward pool builds and enough transactions happen, it's like the reverse of that. We start small, and then it has like that curve, and it starts to ramp up in your reward curve until it stabilizes to what it's going to be as a normal output for rewards. And I think, if I understand the reasoning behind it, is because there's this onboarding process that's going to happen over these first 2 weeks. And it's a matter of, in day 1, you have, say, 50 people on the website. Next day, maybe 20 more people add. You don't want to have those first people with crazy, 50,000 whale share rewards on their posts when no one else has got a chance to come to the platform, get set up, start creating content and sharing themselves. So it's going to be this gradual releasing of the rewards pool over the first week or 2, and that's why we're seeing our vote reward weight low at first, and then it will, like I said, ease on up in this kind of curve as it stabilizes. So I mean, that's really the best way I can kind of explain how it was explained to me. I'm not really a technical person on that blockchain coding, but that's my understanding of how the logic behind it works.
I'll just mention that I agree with you. I know similar things, and you've said it very close to the correct way. So thank you for addressing it.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, and that just reminds me of people who've been asking about using the whale tokens, Crazy Coin, the Beehive coin, or Ycoin, Whalecoin, whatever the whale token is at the moment. Just hold off using those because the reward pool is generating. So just hold off on that for the moment. And also, we don't have the slider function up and running on the platform yet, so we wouldn't be able to award accordingly. So just keep those whale tokens for the time being. Just keep accumulating them because they will be able to be used very soon. Crazy coins aren't ready quite yet. No, that's right. So go on, Papix.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Even the contest that just ended on Fuzzy's blog, which was the Whaleshares Art Contest, there was a basket of different whale tokens that were given out. So to the people who won those, just hang on to them. And everyone who has their associated whale tokens will release their own announcement posts on their Whaleshares.io blog, announcing when and how their specific whale tokens will work and function. We are working to get the current whale tokens set up in an automated system, which will allow them to work just like the old Whaleshares and Beyond Bits, where you'll send them to whatever account you're specified to send them to. It's not going to be to Whaleshares anymore. each individual person's token will be sent to whatever account is controlling them. So you'll have to look for those individual information. That will be posted. We'll have what's called the whale book coming out. The tokens will be listed, instructions will be listed. So you don't have to worry about that, but just don't use them now. Don't just kind of hang on to them. Don't be sending them to anyone now. Those last things are getting hooked up and established as we speak.
Awesome. Okay, SMT shares. What is your question? No, it looks like SMT shares is not there. Is that Samist? SMT? Is that Samist? Samist, are you there? Well, he's not asking anymore. he wanted to ask a question, but he's gone. Okay, fine. Oh, he's typing now. All right. Okay, come on, Samist. What's your question? He's typing up a question. My voice is not coming out. Let me type. Yeah, that's fine. Just type. It's coming. This question is coming. It's going to be a juicy one, I'm sure. Tell me about it, Chief. Come on, Samist. Give it to us.
Yeah, meanwhile, if anyone else has any other questions or things they need to know about, just let me know.
Okay, so he's asking about the 14-day maturing period. Is it 7-day or 14-day or something?
It's 14 days this first week, and it will be updated by the 1st. I think that'll be for mainnet launch, where it will be extended to 14 days. So that is in the whale paper to let everyone know that it is coming. So that's just something to look forward to. We're changing it up a bit. Like I said, this is a long-term game. This is a long-term platform. We want people to get established and stay staked. Use what you got to use for real life, but see this as a long-term building process, a long-term sharing process. Create your tokens, get your tokens backed, and then because we've seen what Fuzzy has accomplished in his time on Steemit just by building his stake and perpetuating that Beyond Bid and Whaleshare tokens. He has built so much using that value, so you almost get more out of your own vested interest. Your whale stake, it gives you more power, more leverage, and more value by building that and using these tokens to either trade, transfer, reward, and build stuff. So we definitely want to kind of really keep driving that home to let people know this is a long-term thing. Don't look at it as a quick
Absolutely.
ATM and cash out. The longer you build it, the longer, the more it will be worth to you long-term.
No, absolutely. And it really is worth stressing that, because I know a lot of people want to log on and they want to see the payout immediately and the value immediately, and they want to get everything up and running immediately. And that's understandable. It's perfectly understandable, but it is a long-term thing. Things will be added, functions will be activated bit by bit. And it is a long-term journey. But ultimately, it should be far more valuable than Steemit.
Right, and even that's like Intel guy was making his comment there in the chat. But yeah, definitely. So, a lot of people also worry about, people write things, or they might do artist things, or the music community, and, cutting off a post at 7 days, it doesn't really give them that maximum reach, especially in the early days of a platform. We're going to be onboarding people. First, it's going to be from local communities. People who are familiar with crypto. BitShares community is going to be coming over, because remember, this platform is there to support the BitShares community. We'll have the BitsharesTalk.io, which will be the direct forums for the BitShares community. So people will be onboarding over time. So, allowing posts to have a longer time to get seen and be rewarded also brings back value to the community and everyone who's taking the time to create the content. So I think it's great. It all works hand in hand with, no delegation, our different longer schedule for powering down, and everything else that we have built in. They all work together to kind of build that, that mentality of long-term community building and sharing.
Yeah, and people will see this all come together a little bit later on down the line, because obviously the power down function isn't there at the moment, because this is a baby that's just been born, and we're literally at the start of this whole journey, and so these different functions and features will be added on later. Like you mentioned there about, I know some people weren't happy that every time they wanted to reward a post, it shared it in their in their sort of timeline, so to speak, and they were saying it was cluttering up their timeline. Well, that's going to be sorted out later on. We've just begun, so there's going to be lots of features added, and I'm assuming, PowerPix, that in terms of feedback, you're going to welcome that. Or is there a place where people can go to give feedback?
Yeah, absolutely. We have that feedback channel here in Discord. Keep dropping stuff in, because we are responding to it. What we have right now, and just we want everyone to understand, in the first couple months, we have a development game plan, like blueprints of where we're going to take this platform. Okay, this is just the beginning. Like you said, this is a baby, it was just born. We have a series of steps and like progressive updates that are going to roll out over the first couple of months. During that time, we will always take feedback and stuff into consideration, but we're going to kind of follow a path that we've laid out, which will also incorporate a lot of the feedback. But once we pass that point and the kind of final core idea of the platform has been released, at that point, well, actually, hopefully in the month before that or so, we need to develop leadership within the Whaleshares community here in Discord, because this is being developed as a DAC, a decentralized autonomous co-op, basically. We need, this is not fuzzy makes the final say, and that's what it is. We need to start making decisions based on group consensus. Even today, like tonight, we're having a post going out about the witnesses that will go up later tonight after the show. But all of the witnesses basically worked together today and had a consensus that says we are ready to go, and we are ready to open this up to bring in more witnesses onto the blockchain. So we went through the process of internally voting as a group. No one person made the decision, and that's the way everything is going to be as we move this forward. We just need to get a couple months out, and during this time we need to build the community internal. Like you said, we have a governance channel, we have the feedback channel. We need people to step up and take those leadership roles to coordinate other people in the community, because everything eventually, once it gets to that point and we say, we brought you to where our vision was, the community will then be responsible for where it goes after that. What is the vision of the community and how do they want to guide it? There may be things that we originally set up in the platform. They say, that was cool, but it's not really working for us as a greater community. Maybe we should change that, remove it, or add something to it. And at that point, it will be up to the community to make those decisions, and then the development team puts that together or is hired to do it. The witnesses approve things in or out. And there is something different on our blockchain as well. In the rewards pool, which is generated through the whole process of the witnessing and doing the blocks, there is a 5% reserve pool that was set aside. Okay, and in that reserve pool is for hosting and development services of the platform. That is not assigned to any one person. That is owned by the DAC, the greater community. So as we get to that point, that 5% rewards pool, okay, there's a 10% rewards pool that goes out to the witnesses, 5% is over to this reserve pool. Those funds will be able to use to pay to bring on more developers, more graphic designers, coders, whatever we need to get all these things built and done in the future. There could be third-party apps or things we want to build in, cross-platform things we want to build in that make this compatible with other things. So we'll have a reserve fund of money available to get those things built and done. And that's always been one of the visions that Fuzzy put in, saying once this gets up and running, it has to stand on its own. That's why even now we've made the transition where the official announcements are not coming from Fuzzy's blog anymore. They're now coming from the official @Whaleshares account, and of course he'll share them and we'll all share them, but the announcements will now come from the official announcements account instead. We don't want any one person making the final decisions. It needs to be community decisions. So we're going to roll out, like I said, what is pre-planned and pre-scheduled, and by that point, the community needs to have its ass in gear, to put it bluntly, with coordination to decide how it's going to work from that point on.
Awesome. Okay, I'm going to move to wrap up in a minute, Papix, but I know that LCR wants to come in with a quick question. LCR, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. I hope my question will not sound confused because my English is not as good as you guys. But as I understand, in order for us to, for example, power down, because sometimes we have to pay expenses of our lives, usually what I like to do is to trade my digital assets so I can reinvest it in the crypto space. Because of what I understand, it will be better not to think on powering down in the short term, which is okay. The idea is to giving more value to the platform. But I heard that as long as you have whale stakes, you can create your own token. And so anybody will start creating a token. How, I'm trying to think on how, regarding price appreciation of the tokens in order to trade them, what is going to actually give the value of these tokens, Because if I have whale stake, okay, I can create a token, but all right, what will determine the price of my token? You understand?
Yes.
That's kind of like my question, because what we're gonna have also is like a party of token creators all over the place, but what actually will determine the price of
LCR,
these tokens on the
just to jump in a minute. No, I fully get what you're saying, and this is kind of a separate question, because we've actually spoken about this in recent weeks about people creating tokens, because we want people to create tokens. We want as many people to create their own token, but to give value to your token, there are a number of factors that go into that. It isn't just the fact that you hold whale stake, that there are a number of factors in that. It's kind of a separate question, but if you're interested in setting up your own token, then we were speaking about this very recently. There's quite a few posts around which we can help you out with. It all depends really what your token is about, who you're catering for. But Papix, did you want to quickly answer LCR?
Yeah, I'll give a quick, short version of that. The values are coming from, like Fuzzy always says, your value proposition. At some point in time, after October 1st, when the gateways open to the DEX, and there'll be proxy tokens like rudex.wls, which will trade against BitShares and other currencies on the DEX. It will establish a base value, whatever the free market says one WLS is worth. Okay, that will then give a value to your whale stake, because that's just your powered up WLS. So that will give you that kind of equation on what does it mean as far as a rewarding value. Your token is, your token, in order to be considered a whale token and be in our whale book and officially part of the community that is recognized as a valid token, it needs to be backed by whale stake. Just like Fuzzy's tokens were backed by his Steam power, that's what's giving you that. On Steam, it is your vote reward value. Over here, it's your rewarding value. So that's where, that's where the monetary value comes from. But as far as the community recognizing it as something they want to be involved in or be rewarded, it's what are you using it for? We have tokens now. You see by Enrico, who, by the way, just to mention, all the fantastic fantasy artwork you're seeing on these announcement posts, on the main Whaleshares account, on the Whaleshares platform itself, that is from Enrico. He is our artist behind the scenes that has been doing all that artwork for us, and phenomenal. But he has a token called Pixel. He's going to be rewarding people in the artist community who do create artwork through contests and challenges and things like that. Just like Freedom will have a purpose for his token, and Krista will have a purpose. So you'll find what communities you want to support, and that's what you're giving it to: initiatives, contests, challenges, or helping to build things in the community. And people will find value in them, saying, okay, I'll put in X numbers of values, or I'll enter this contest in exchange for X tokens from you, which equals a lump sum reward on my post, which has X values based against what it is on the DEX. So that whole, what is the value of things has a very kind of complicated chain behind it. But the free market will establish a base value for what WLS is worth, and then everything else sits on top of that.
Awesome. I hope that answers your question, LCR, but worth doing your research on that, because it really is more about what you want to do with that token, and as Powerpick said, the purpose of that token. So get thinking, dude, get thinking. But Krista just put up there will be a minimum vested amount to make a token. That makes sense, of course. Right, okay, yeah, exactly. We can chat more in the after party, but I'm going to have to move the show on, I'm afraid, guys, because we're running out a bit of time here. We're running out of time here. So thank you very much for that, Powerpicks. You've done a good job in answering all those questions there. It's not easy, but just to let you guys know, we're hanging around in general all the time. So come in, feel free to ask as many questions as you like. There's always going to be somebody around. So just jump into general anytime you want. And also, if you are having a specific problem with your registration or your the claim process, we have set up that channel that I put up in the chat before. So please go to there and register the problem, whatever it is, whatever the issue is that you're experiencing. So I hope that answers some of your questions. But for the most part, I have to say it has gone very well. It's gone very smoothly. I've posted on the new chain tonight, and it is amazing to see how many people are already posting on there. It's been fantastic to see. I've been very encouraged, totally inspired. It's been amazing. So let's get building something amazing on there. It started already today. Great to see that. Okay, thanks again, Powerpicks. I'm going to move on now. I'm going to move on to Chiefs. Chief, are you there?
Hello.
Hi, Chief. Are you there?
Yeah, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. Just back from traveling and just taking everything in. I'm excited to hear everything from the community. That's awesome that we're getting the new site up and running. That's incredible.
Absolutely. The mainnet launched, and it's been phenomenal. Really has been. So great stuff. What have you got for us tonight?
Well, I was going to have a longer segment, but with the time, I'm going to cut it pretty short, just so it fits in with everything. And it's just kind of building off what the last thing PowerPicks talked about, which was value, the value of cryptocurrencies and how it affects the related community. So basically, what are the advantages? What happens when there's a high price? What happens when there's a low price? And what can we do to, I guess, maybe disregard the price and to keep building community? So I'm going to cover that real quick so we keep everything in time.
Awesome. Okay, go ahead. Looking forward to it.
All right. I guess some of us have been around, seen the Steemit rise and fall with the interaction with the price. One of the biggest things, and a couple studies have shown this, besides what we saw in Steemit, is when there is a high price related to a cryptocurrency community, whether it be Ethereum, whether it be Steem, BitShares, there's more interaction going on within the community. It's just natural to have more people interacting when the price is high. People get excited. It encourages interaction and positivity about the future, and people are excited about the prospects of maybe making some money, maybe be able to do their dreams. So it seems like the high price right now has developed into an increased community interaction. And that's seen across the board with a couple of different cryptocurrencies. And for us, we've seen it firsthand with Steemit. When the price of SPD was higher and the price of Steem was higher, the amount of unique people using the site was much higher than it is right now, which the price is relatively low. But the nice thing about a low price is the long-term community members that are here for the right reasons, whether it be creating content, whether it be helping people, they really start shining because they keep doing what they're doing. And some of these communities is interacting with answering questions. Not every community has the BitShares and like Steem have all this community aside to it. Even Monero, Bitcoin, Ethereum, most of it's done in forums. So the people that are, when there's a low price, the influencers come abound. So if you would like to be an influencer in a certain community, if you know you're going to be around for the long term, when there is a low price, this is the time to go in overdrive. Meaning keep doing what you're doing, but maybe do a little bit more because it's a great time to distinguish yourself from everybody else who may be worried about price, may not be worried about price. So that's one thing that we can do as a community is right now, with everything being started and fresh, the price is low. The people that are here for the long term, whether it be creating whale tokens or whether it be creating content, they're going to be noticed right now because they're doing it authentically. They're not doing it for the rewards. They're doing it because they want to, and they really want to help people. So this is a great time to distinguish yourself from other people, and they're maybe looking traders or looking to make a quick buck. The low price points across the board, whether it be Steam, whether it be Whaleshares, whether it be BitsharesTalk, it's a great time to figure out which long-term platform you like and which one fits with your life, and to dive all in with that. It's a couple of things that we have learned just from witnessing Steam and studies done with various cryptocurrencies.
Well, yeah, I'm going to just jump in because that's a good point. I mean, as you know, I've got my own token here on the new Whaleshares platform, and I'm not thinking, oh, how much money can I make from this at the moment at all. I'm just here to try and build the foundations of a great community and reward with that token and help others. And there's very little market value to my token at the moment, I can tell you, and there might not be some value to it for a long time, but it doesn't bother me in the slightest, so long as it kind of gives back and helps the community. And at the moment, anybody who in my position on the platform, whatever token they've got, whatever they're doing, is we are all in here at the moment to build the foundations of a great community. It is not here to make a quick buck, because that's not going to happen at the moment.
I'm glad that you point that out, and that's what we have to kind of encourage with all these different platforms. And the Whaleshares platform, obviously, with this show and with other things you're doing in the community, you really are bringing more awareness to the platform. But even PowerPicks reiterated, this is a long-term solution. It's a long-term platform. So do the habits, do the activities that will set you up for success for the long term. I understand everybody needs needing money in their life, but if there's any way you can just keep working towards your goals, keep working towards helping people and building this community, I think long term everybody will be happy. But it's we have to establish the value of the community, and that will help establish the value of the token. So by having a lot of community members, by having a lot of interaction, a lot of content, it encourages the price to go up, because that's what cryptocurrencies are really reiterating in this financial world. That price is determined by the value of the currency, how many people use it. It's not determined by a stack of metal like gold and silver, how much gold and silver you have. The price of a cryptocurrency is derived from the value of its community and how many people are using it. So it's, you definitely have to build the community up. And that's why you need to have more buyers and sellers for the price to go up. So you need to have people that are buying into the long-term community and give them the reasons to do it. Exactly, IntelliGuy. But but it's a lot of people still think that X, Y, and Z gives cryptocurrency value, or even any currency value. It's really the people. People give value to currency, and something that we can be a case study for it as well. Because right now we are determining the value of Whaleshares and Whalestake. So we will see what the community suggests the price will be based on this interaction. So that's one thing, is disregarding price is a good way to encourage good habits and good long-term habits. I think it's important to check the price every once in a while as a marking ground, as a way to figure out how much the community has grown. But I think by disregarding price and just encouraging good habits, it really will encourage authentic interaction, and that's what we need. We need authentic people interacting authentically. That will lead to more and more people coming into the community, more and more people using the platform, and people that are actually going to use the platform for what it is. So that's one thing I would definitely suggest us all doing is, it's good to look at the price every once in a while, but we should really focus on our habits, on our interaction and what we're going to do, because having a stable currency is good for the ecosystem, and having a stable community is good for the ecosystem. So I'm excited to see what everybody will do, what value everybody will bring, but I'm excited to be part of it, and I appreciate everybody here.
Awesome stuff. Chief, are you done?
I cut it down for you, brother.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much for that. That was indeed a briefer one, but that probably is quite useful because we are a little bit short on time. But okay, is there anything you want to say lastly, Chief?
Oh no, yeah, I was just tracking Power Picks, how much time he's going through, and I know that you have a really long show, so I just wanted to work what I had into it, and not, I could go on for another 15, 20 minutes, but I think this is a good point to stop, and so you can keep the time schedule. But I'm really encouraged and excited to what everything Power Picks has said, and like you said, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask, him and anybody else, because we need to build this community. We need to get the answers to our questions, because people will be asking us the same. So I'm going to be claiming my Whaleshares soon and getting that all set up. So I'm excited to make a couple posts. So I'm really excited for the community, and I appreciate hearing your silky smooth voice, Freedom. It's been a week or two, so I'm excited now.
Thank you very much. Thank you indeed. Let me know, by the way, people, if I'm coming through alien sound, because my voice connection ometer or status is fluctuating. Don't know what it's doing, but please let me know. If it's a little bit, I can carry on. If it's bad, I may need to do a full reset, and I really don't want to do that because I'm just about to bring on my guest, Buttcoins. So I'm going to carry on talking. But if it is that bad, I will do a full reset and we will pause, and maybe Savo will give us a song while I do the reset. But okay, if you can hear me, I'll carry on. But do let me know if it gets that bad. Okay, right. So now then, I am going to just turn our attentions to our guest. However, before I do, it brings me on to what I said at the start of the show, because the cruel curation segment is, even though I've had quite a bit of fun with that, I'm getting rid of it. What I've done is, in the spirit of the new platform, I've decided to go on my own marketing, promotional journey, experience, whatever you want to call it. And I've reached out to another Discord server, and I came across them a few months ago. They're the open mic comedy server, if I've got that right. Perhaps it's something like that. I should have remembered it, but it's the comedy open mic server. And what I'm hoping to do is bring in a whole new comedy segment at the end of the show. So we all leave the show laughing and feeling good and in high spirits, because I like a bit of comedy. And from some of the content I've seen on the open mic, the comedy open mic server, it is, I mean, it's amazing that those guys are doing some great stuff over there. So I think Buttcoins has put up, no, he hasn't. He's deleted it. That wasn't it at all. But he's going to. He's going to put up the link to the server. I suggest you guys get in there, because some of these people are immensely funny. And I'm hoping we're going to bring in some comedy to the show. So the community creation segment is going. And we're going to have a 15-minute comedy segment. And to talk to us about that, because it's not happening tonight, but that's what's going to happen. But it's not happening tonight. Savo, can you just mute your mic for me, because you're interrupting my chat? Jeez, that guy. Anyway, thanks, Savo. But yeah, so if I've gone alien, let me know, obviously. But that's what I'm hoping you got that anyway. So we're going to get rid of the community creation segment, and we're going to bring in a good dose of comedy. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But anyway, thanks for mic checking, Savo. But anyway, my guest tonight. There it is. There's the server. Check it out. I've seen some amazing stuff going on there. But as a precursor to that, my guest tonight is indeed Buttcoins. Love the name. Maybe he'll tell us why it's Buttcoins. Maybe he's got other coins in the pipeline. I don't know. But as a precursor to that, I'm bringing in Buttcoins, and we're going to have a chat. And we're going to get to know him a bit more and the stuff he's involved with. Buttcoins, are you there?
I am. How are you doing? Thanks for inviting me on.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you very much for coming on the show. How are you, sir?
Yeah, it's a good day. Couple ironing out technical difficulties when you try to get a person who's not technical on your show. Things go wrong, but well, here we are.
Yeah, I mean, I learned tonight you really are not technical at all, are you?
Yes, I was dropped on the head as a baby and did not get the technology.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, maybe you can tell us more about the dropping on the head as a baby in a bit. But I'm going to just start by asking you, as I do most people who come on the show, how did you find Steemit? What was your way in?
So, I kind of had loosely heard like a lot of people about Bitcoin for several years and just sort of touched into it, read about it, looked at it, like explored kind of a little bit more in like 2012, but then didn't really do anything with it. And then back again in 2015, I started peeking around again. And then properly last summer, a little over a year ago right now, I started properly like kind of looking into different cryptos and doing my research, buying in a little bit. And in the midst of it, I'm kind of a practical person and I don't know, like I didn't understand. I was like, what is this? Like, how do these have value? What's the point? And in the midst of trying to find use cases for different coins and like actual tangible uses, I stumbled onto Steemit and I was like, oh, that makes sense. Social media and valuing, content. And so that's how I joined. I found Steemit and I started doing some posts there.
And what were the posts you started putting up first? Were you straight into the comedy niche, or were there other things you were doing?
Well, like the idea off the bat was I explored it for like a week, and I'm not a technical person, so I was a little bit, I was like, oh, it seems very technical. Maybe this doesn't make sense. And I was kind of like, well, if I'm going to go, I would like to bring comedy. So thus the name Buttcoins, sort of kind of playing with the idea of like, kind of taking the piss or having parody on what it is we're doing with all these like coins that sometimes feel imaginary, definitely to the general public feel imaginary.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned Buttcoins. I mean, I love the name. Is there other names on the way? Why did you settle on Buttcoins?
Well, like the truth is when I was a May of a whole year ago, I was with a few other friends and we kind of got together to talk about crypto and in the midst of it, it was three of us there at the table. We were like, well, if we're going to do this and kind of like learn more together as a group, we need a name for the group. And I don't know who it was, but somebody was just like, yeah, well, we'll be the Buttcoins Club. And like, we just laughed our ass off. And so Buttcoins just sort of stuck from there. And then when I was choosing a name, I was just like, shit, Buttcoin sounds good enough. That sounds funny. And I want to bring humor. So boom.
All right. Okay. So you settled on Buttcoins. And what has Buttcoins been doing then since you joined Steemit? I mean, Steemit, when did you set up, by the way, the comedy open mic server on Discord?
So I've been on since September, and the first 3-4 months I was only doing blog entries. And actually, in the beginning, the Buttcoins, I was like, oh, why did I call myself Buttcoins? Nobody takes me seriously. But then like after November, I started more owning it, and now I'm psyched. I'm glad I'm called Buttcoins. So, and then we started the comedy open mic server has been going for 6 months. Started in early March. And that's when that started.
Okay. And what is because I don't think it wasn't you actually set up the server, was it? But what is the overarching objective of the comedy open mic server? What is the ethos?
Yeah, so I didn't officially set up. It was set up by DJ123 and Itakuchi and Take 5. And these guys brought me in after about 3 weeks of it being started. And for me in general, what the ethos is and the things that we talk about is that basically a community is stronger when it has comedy. If you look at Reddit and you look at like the funny tag, it's one of the largest tags that is there in Reddit. And if you don't have humor, like, I don't know, like what are you doing? So like for us, like, I've often said like, well, we're going to bitch slap the boring out of the blockchain, cause we want to have fun. And amidst the fun, it kind of ties together all the serious thing, but without parody, you don't have that kind of full, well-rounded community.
Okay, well, this is interesting because we're kind of getting into the style of comedy now. I mean, how would you describe your own style of comedy?
So I would consider my style of comedy maybe slapsticky improv. I am normally, my sketches that I do, like the ones that I'm making videos with, I do not know where I'm going with the sketch. And as I'm going through the sketch, it's sort of discovering itself. Oftentimes I have a general idea in my mind and then just go with it. That is my style. Some people on the server are giving much more, written comedy thing, or there's people putting memes and GIFs, and my style is a little bit more on the improv side.
Because just looking through your blog on Steam, you're quite visual. You do a lot of videos, is that right?
Yeah, currently I pretty much after December, I wanted to like play with vlogging, and I got into this group called DTube Daily, and it was just a crew of video content makers and vlog content makers. And that really spawned me into playing with this idea of making videos and making funny videos. And there was a little middle ground time where I was sort of doing blogs and pictures and videos. And then now I'm pretty much consistently only videos. I just did a 14-day stretch where I planned, shot, edited, audio edited, and launched all in the same day, 14 videos in a row, 14 days in a row.
Was this a series, or why 14 videos?
Well, it was like a challenge for myself. I didn't like announce it or anything. It was just I wanted to produce. It initially started as 7. I got through the 7. I was like, I'm going to do another 7. And yesterday was officially my 14th video in a row, and so now I am taking a much deserved break.
Yeah, well, that sounds quite prolific. How funny are you then?
Well, that's the thing about humor, I mean, who's to say, like I think I'm hilarious, but, other people think I'm a dick and not funny. but everybody has like their own take. So ultimately for us at the Comedy Open Mic, we try to sort of be open to the fact that one person thinks one thing's funny and one person thinks another thing's funny. That's why we have 9 judges every week who kind of randomize it to allow for different people's tastes of humor to come through.
All right. Well, before we just look at some of the stuff you guys do there on the Comedy Open Mic server, just a little bit more about you personally, because you moved to Guatemala in 2010. I think you've got a British wife, haven't you? What prompted that move?
Yeah. So basically, you live in this world. I'm from upstate New York, and I love traveling, and traveling was a big aspect of my life all through the 2000s. And every time I came back, I would work my job basically to be able to earn some money to go and see more of the world. And in the midst of this, I was just like, I don't know if I want to live in America anymore. And part of coming to Guatemala, well, I mean, just perfectly honestly, like my wife got pregnant and we needed to do something, and I didn't want to live in England and she didn't want to live in America. And it's basically we were Guatemala. It just made sense. We had stayed here for 6 months. We had found work. We had really good visa realities. So that was a big reason. The visa realities was a big reason why we ended up settling in Guatemala.
Because I remember looking at one of your videos, and I mean the scenery is spectacular. It just the back. I mean, you weren't even focusing on the scenery. You were focusing on some music. I can't remember what it was now, but the background. My word, it just looked like paradise.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of one of these places that if you go down to the front of our property, you can't take a bad picture. It makes everybody a photographer.
Yeah, I can imagine. But did I read through your bio that you set up a hostel there?
Yeah, when we came, obviously if we were going to live here, we'd have to have a living. So we bought a land and created a hostel. As of now, we sleep 52 people, and we have something along the lines of, I think it's 14 rooms, and we're right here on the lake. We've got a cafe and event space, so we're one of the most popular places here in this town, mainly because we do activities like I'm currently missing a salsa and salsas night right now, where we have salsa dancing and salsa to go with fish tacos.
Oh man, gosh, I'm so pleased I've reached out to you because, well, I've definitely got a room for the night if I ever make it to Guatemala, yeah?
Oh, yeah. You know, like, yeah, free rooms for everybody on Steemit, you know? That's how it goes.
Awesome. Okay. Well, let's just return a bit then to the Comedy Open Mic server, because you run a weekly contest, don't you? And just tell us a bit more about that, can you? Because I think there's quite a decent prize for that as well, on top of everything else.
Yeah, we've actually got two contests. We do a Spanish comedy contest and an English one every week. They run seven days. We judge, and as soon as the post comes out for the next week's, it cuts off for the previous week, and the next day we send out the winners from judging. And we have that both in the Spanish and in the English. We are taking a brief break with the Spanish to kind of, we're looking for more funders and founders to come involved with the Spanish. We were just struggling to sort of make our payouts, because we are, is true, we're giving out quite a lot of money. Our peak week and that we ever had was week 14. We gave out $1,500 Q in up, $1,500 in upvotes.
Wow, that's yeah, that is quite a lot indeed. And you do this every week, yeah?
Every single week. We're in week 26 right now for the comedy English, and we are in week 17 for the Spanish.
Okay, so if people think they might have a bit of a comedian inside them and they want to enter this contest, what are the conditions then?
So we kept it as absolute simple as possible. We basically, you have to nominate two people, and you have to put like the comedy open mic and the week number at the top, either in the title or at the very first line, so that we can see that you're, and you have to tag it comedy open mic or comedy open and mic Espanol. So there's not, other than that, there's really not any rules. It's supposed to be funny, but you can put something boring and we will just give you a shitty score. You can put in any media, so any media can go in to win. You can see, like, there's if you join the Discord, there's a throne room of all of the past winners, and you can kind of get a feel for what type of content is winning or doing well.
Fantastic. And how many then are on the judging panel? How do you become a judge?
So we need at least a few weeks of doing posts before you can be a judge. We sort of need to see that you're involved in the community, and then if pretty much it's like, as people have won or gotten into the top 10, if they've done this a few weeks, we normally sort of tap them and just like, hey, would you like to judge? And in the beginning, it actually was a ton of work. I remember 1 week we had 164 entries, and this was pre-bot time. So every judge was supposed to look at 164 entries. I was on the panel that week, and it was a ton of work. Since then, we have created a bot, and there's an automated bot that sends out to each judge the entries. So we've cut it down to a third of the total entries is how much you have to judge. So that's helped quite a bit, and also allowed us to keep more judges, because it was actually becoming a lot of work, and we were struggling to keep judges because nobody wanted to work that hard.
Yeah, well, it sounds like it. I mean, you have, it sounds like you had a ton of entries, which is great. Sounds like there's a lot of aspiring or indeed comedians out there. I mean, can I ask you, how seriously do you take all this? How seriously do you take the comedy?
Well, it's funny, like we actually say that we are a comedy Discord group, but we're more organized and more serious about it than I'm in several groups, and I don't know many that have kind of the structure and layout that we have. We're very organized. We kind of have our teams that handle different aspects of it. And so, yeah, we take it seriously. We truly believe that without comedy, what the heck are we doing?
Yeah, well, this is it, absolutely, and I'm looking forward to learning more really about your whole approach and ethos to comedy, because some, I mean, it's so subjective. Some people, I've met some of the most funniest people in my ordinary daily life that I think should be paid entertainers, but the opposite, conversely, I've met some of the most miserable, bitter people who just seem to go out of their way to try and not laugh. Do you know what I mean? So it's interesting. People obviously do have different approaches to comedy, but I'm looking forward to learning more about you. And I'm just going to and not you, of course, but also the other guys on the server. But what I'm going to, because I need to move to kind of wrapping up now a bit, but I'm going to just touch a little bit on this idea that, as you know, I've approached you and the Comedy Open Mic server to try and get some kind of synergy going here with my show. And I want to bring in some comedy towards the end of the show. I'm scrapping the community curation segment, as I told you. What sort of things, I know you can't give us details yet, but can you give us a vague idea of what you might have in store for us?
Yeah, so I'm talking. We've got a little side group that we're talking about what we can bring. The one of the ideas is to have the best posts from the week prior and read them out loud. And so the idea would be we would read it out loud, trying to make it as funny as possible. So there's not going to be every post isn't going to be possible to do that with. So I've already got like a kind of a spreadsheet where I'm moving potential posts, and then we're going to vet and see if we can do it. So that's one of the ideas, to sort of highlight the funniest entries from the week prior, and then the other ideas we have are so there's a guy who's on here right now, Amir the Awesome, and he is talking about hosting with me as well, where we would spend the beginning kind of like going back and forth, just sort of buddy chatting, and then maybe take some call outs, take some questions from people, and we'll just sort of have a funny-ish dialogue, and the idea would also be to maybe take like a call out that we could riff off of. So somebody could say, red underwear, and we would then try to do 2 to 3 minutes talking about every aspect of red underwear.
Okay, I'm liking the interactive element there. That would be great. I'm sure that would work nicely. I also like the fact about this contest, you reading the winners out each week, because that's nice. That actually is, brings in a kind of curation element, and it helps those people, those other comedians who've won the contest each week. I mean, it mixes things up and it gives them a little spotlight, for a moment. So it's a nice bit of curation work as well. Fantastic idea. I knew IntelliGuy would be on it. No, red. No, not lead underwear. Red, he said, IntelliGuy. But maybe we could, if they go for this idea, we'll shout lead underwear out next time. But okay, no, I like it. I think that sounds great. I'm sure, whatever you decide to do, it's going to be awesome indeed. And the great thing, as I said to you, Buckcoins, in the conversations we've had so far, is that it'd be nice to give you guys a bit of a platform and to give you some exposure, and vice versa. Hopefully, we can onboard some of you guys onto Whaleshares, because you join us at an extremely exciting time, and I think we're going to work together brilliantly, and I think it'll do some good things for both communities, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's since you mentioned it, it's opened up several little chat rooms, and everybody is throwing out all types of ideas. So we're excited to give it a go. We said we would commit to 2 weeks, and we are committed.
Awesome. Well, that's great. 2 weeks, even if it all goes horribly wrong, we tried, and no one can say we didn't try. But I'm hoping we'll be able to extend it beyond 2 weeks. But I'm looking forward to it. I really am, and that's the good thing about this show. I don't want it to remain static, so it is about experimentation. And if I can bring in other segments that can spice the show up, that's exactly what I want to do. And I'm sure you guys are going to do a fantastic job. Right, Buttcoins. Is there anything else you want to mention?
No, that's it. I just want to say thanks again for having me on. It was very elucidating to hear all the whale shares talk in the beginning. I've kind of been on the outskirts of it, so it was nice to hear all that. And thanks, Freedom, for inviting me.
Oh, you're very welcome. In the group that we set up, I do know that Iddy sent a load of stats. Did you want to mention that? Was that for this or not?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to hear some of the basic stats, we have we've generously been given a 36,000 delegation from two people, Roland P. and the Next Generation Crypto, who also believe in comedy and the importance of it. So, and just since our beginning, we've had 19,000 unique visitors. We've had 15,000 unique upvoters, 2,500 unique commenters, and I already mentioned the at its peak, we gave away $1,500 in 1 week, and we've given a lot away all of the weeks, but that week in particular was our biggest.
Wow, yeah, absolutely it was. In fact, I don't think I've come across anyone on Steam who's given away more in 1 week, but that's fantastic. Well, thank you very much. Someone's Buttcoin, has that just been made now, or is that your official icon, Buttcoin?
I didn't make that. Somebody else did.
Okay, awesome. All right, well, thank you very much, Buttcoins, for coming on the show. Good to speak with you, and I'm looking forward to the new comedy segment that we're going to be doing. So awesome. Thank you very much for that. Right, guys, I think it's time for a bit of music. We're running over time, but hey, so what? It's the first show after we've launched an amazing platform. I'm fully prepared for this to go on all night. How about that? An all-nighter. But anyway, I'm going to hand over now. It is time for some music. Savo, mic check. Are you there?
I'm here. How are you, Freedom?
Oh, you're very quiet, Savo. You need to speak up or sort your mic.
Sorry. What's up? Yeah. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I'm very excited, and I'm really buoyed up and enjoying the show very much. Nice turnout. And after today, the last 24 hours that we've seen with the Whaleshares launch, I'm feeling really, really happy. I think is the word, aren't you?
Yeah, it's going to start now. Slowly it becomes, it's our duty now to make it a very user-friendly environment and very nice for other people and ourselves. So
absolutely, you're right. You're absolutely right to use that word duty, because there is a duty on all of us now to make this platform to build a really successful community, and there's a duty on all of us to do that.
Absolutely. And to add to that community, I have a guest tonight, which isn't a new face on Steemit. So I will play a music of him first, okay? To have some music already.
Sure.
Go in the mood. Here's John Mack with his new single, because it's his new single, Your Dreams.
So that's your problem. Let me tell you what.
I think someone's telling Savo off.
No, it's coming later.
Even though they try to strike you down, your dignity and honesty is something that they will never find. And at night when you're sleeping, you can feel the rain creeping, trying step by step to break you down. So hold on to your dreams and keep them can go so far away. And in your thoughts you can go so far away. Your hunger can take you so far away, away. Everything is naked, you have been inside a haven, you have seen through all the stories. But your freedom and your happiness were something you deserted. It can never be inverted. But in your dreams you can go so far away. And in your thoughts you can go so far away. Your hunger can take you so far away, away. Can go so far away, and in your thoughts you can go so far away. Your hunger can take you so far away, away.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jon Magnussen.
Speak up, Savo.
Yeah, that was John. Or Jon Magnussen. I don't know if I pronounced it right, because it's not John, but it's Jon from Sweden. Yes, is he mute? Why is he muted?
Oh, John, you need to unmute yourself so we can hear your voice, dude.
Well.
He doesn't want to talk to you, Savo.
No, he wants to. He wants to.
There he comes. He's coming.
Jon, can you hear me? Yeah, we just did a check, and he could hear me, so. Aye. Yeah. I just go on then. Yeah, that's
okay. Now I need to use push to talk.
You do?
Yeah, I never did it before.
Hey, Jon Magnussen, right?
Yeah, that's almost correct. Jon Magnusson.
Jon Magnusson from Sweden.
Yes.
Yeah, how are you, man?
I'm doing fine. I'm quite tired because I just woke up half an hour ago to be on the show. But other than that, I'm doing really great. It's really fun to be on the show. I'm just been hanging around on the Whaleshares Discord before and never actually been involved that much because I have so much other stuff going on.
And you do, because there's a topic tonight I want to discuss with you, and it came actually from by Compound movies or films who I follow on YouTube, and he was saying, today the cents, the cost of buying a track is competing from 99 cents to free, and there is also a lot of competition. Yes, more movies, but I can play a tiny bit of it. Maybe people understand because he does it in a good way, I believe. He explains it in a good way. So let's have a listen. I want to talk with you what you do different than what other people do in, bringing your music out, because, I saw that you were pretty much a lot of plays on media which other people really struggle on. So this is what it costs to be a music artist.
We are in the music business. And what is business, right? Business is where you make money. You put in money and you get money out, okay? Now, if you're not making money and you're losing money, it's a hobby, Okay? And I don't care what you got to say. That's the truth right there. You know what I'm saying? If you're doing it for free or you're paying to do it, it's a hobby. Do you agree? Let me see in the comments. Let me get an amen real fast. Is the church awake? So when you do business, right, we have to ask ourselves, okay, what are we selling? What is your product, right? Your product. Product. What is your product? Your product is your music, right? Your product is your singles, which are 99 cents, okay? That's what you're selling, okay? You know them people on that corner, when you're at that light on that highway, you know they're selling roses, right? And I don't know if anybody knows, how much do those roses cost? I'm thinking that they're over $1, okay? And if these roses that they sell you at that light on the side of the highway is 99 cents, is over 99 cents, buddy, you know what I'm saying? Let's say those roses are $3. They're out there in the heat trying to push those $3 roses, right? Meanwhile, you're over here and throwing money at this 99 cent, right?
Yeah. When I saw that, I was thinking this is really true, actually, right? And after that, I saw you plays, and what is your what are you using to promote your music? Because that's really something a lot of artists can't do very well, but you seem to be different in that. So what are you using actually? What is available?
That's a really good question. I would say the best way to find new listeners outside the music community, like finding new listeners inside the music community, isn't that hard. Like, you need to interact with other musicians here on Steemit or on Tune or wherever, and if you listen to other people's music and help them out, they will do the same for you. But the hard thing is to find listeners in the outside world. But I mostly use Twitter for finding new fans. So I try to find bands or artists that play music that's kind of similar to the ones I'm doing, and I try to follow their followers and build connections with them, sending them, if they follow me, I can send them DMs on Twitter, start to have a conversation, have them listening to my music, and follow me on Spotify and Facebook and so on. So it's actually a lot of work.
Yeah, I can. I know that you were very busy with that, and even was at home for a while, and work on that. But it turned out well. But yeah, actually, we haven't talked about you now. Who is Jon Magnusson? Can you explain that? How do you come to music and to the blockchain to promote it here?
I'm as you told, I'm from Sweden. I'm 32 years old, and I've been doing music since I was small. I was playing keyboard in the Swedish municipality musical school when I was like 9 years old. And then I took up the guitar when I was 14, but I actually started to really go for making it as a musician almost 2 years ago. Then I started to stop being so lazy, like really getting to know how to record and mix, and also started to engage in the music community. And then I found Steemit in January this year. I actually was a member from June last year, but I didn't start use it until January. And the rest is, like you say, history. I met so many great people especially thanks to Steemit and Steemit Music Alliance, that I think you are pretty familiar with, Sevo. I made some really cool collaboration thanks to it. I think you're going to play our collaboration later on in the show. So it's the blockchain technology is really exciting for musicians and creatives all over.
Yeah, and it also binds people more, or bounds. People feel more like family and the same kind of thing, and because of that interact more, right? So we did, and I'm going to play the song. It's for me and Jorn Magnusson, Set Me on Fire, Club Mix.
Put something in my bloodstream to take away the pain, attenuate my anxiety, make me go astray. Then cover me with blankets, ease my aching heart. I don't wanna be a martyr, though I suffer for the art. Set me on fire. Set me on fire. Set me on fire. Set me on fire. Don't preach about eternity. One life is fairly well. Don't lie to us, I know that there's no heaven, there's no hell. If Jesus is your savior, cross me off your list. In the end I might get burned, but I gladly take that risk. Set me on fire. Set me on fire. Set me on fire. Set
Yeah, thanks. This was my collaboration with John, who has actually you have a lot of collaborations done of your EP, and that's also smart to do, man. You are maybe, I think you are a marketing genius. Because you're only busy for 2 years.
Well, I can't sustain on my music yet, so you might want to wait with that to call me genius yet.
Yeah, I like that though. How you do it. This song, it was actually when you sent me those vocals back on, with the track with the vocals before it was mixed. I really thought, this is made for this song actually, what I had, because that beat I had already for like a year or something. Don't you think you had the same, right? But did you re-sang it, or did you use?
Yeah, the thing is, I think we got in touch first time when I was doing my remix contest for the EP, and then you told me, oh man, I don't have time to remix a song of you, but hey, listen to this beat and see if you can do something with it. And I just took some of the lyrics. Set Me on Fire is actually a song from my second last EP, but I changed the melody to fit the beat, but it worked so well with the beat, and it was love at first sight.
Yeah, true. It's something we can be proud of, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So now you have released that EP, and you also have now a new EP.
The Acoustic Dreams EP, that is, as it sounds, it's totally acoustic. Like, I wanted to do something different from the more indie rock kind of EP I released earlier this year. So I really try to try different things out all the time. So I would get bored just doing the same kind of music all the time.
Yeah, different styles also do more inspiration, right? But are you going to use the same strategy for this EP to bring it out?
No, I don't think it. Honestly, it took a lot of time. The remix contest, it was really, really fun, but it also took a lot of time that I actually don't have nowadays because I have a little kid at home. So that takes a bit too much. But the thing I'm working on is making most of my stems and stuff open for everyone to remix or use and sample if they want. I just haven't really gotten to it yet.
Yeah, that's also when somebody remixes you, they have to give you the credits, right? So the songs will be called always Jon Magnusson, and then with remix behind it.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's also something which James is doing now, who did for the Unity for J movement. And yeah, I think that's smart. That's really smart to do, especially if you are a singer, artist who can sing, because vocals are, it's different than only instrumental. But Swedish thing, Acoustic Dreams, I have here one track of your new EP. Shall we take a listen to it?
Yes.
I asked John.
I want to listen to it.
Okay, here comes Jon Magnusson with Sweet Things.
And Powerpix does as well. So let's hear it. I'm sure it's going to be great.
nothing more to say when he came. He was in the way, or just move. Maybe don't, please stay. It was war and nothing's wrong or right, but he knew deep inside he meant to fight. Sweetest thing, sweetest thing, sweetest thing that has happened. They were young, didn't need to feel I was there. Saw them forced to kneel, took a breath and screamed for everyone. You're alone, ain't it Christmas Day? There's really no reason for you to stay, but you do since she knows the way. Oh no, I could have said no. Oh no, I could have stayed for 1,000 years, 1,000 years. Oh no, I couldn't say no. Oh no, I could have stayed for 1,000 years, 1,000 years. Sweetest thing, sweetest thing that has happened. Sweetest thing, you're the sweetest thing, sweetest thing that has happened. Oh no, I couldn't say no. Oh no, I could have stayed for 1,000 years, 1,000 years. Oh no, I couldn't say no. Oh no, I could have stayed for 1,000 years, 1,000 years.
Yeah, Johan, that was great. I mean, really, really. I see progress. I hear it. It's cool. It's cool to see. But we have to wrap up a little bit because Freedom also has a segment after this. So, is there something you want to, tell people? Something important which they should know?
Well, I think best way to keep track of what I'm doing is through my Facebook, or I have a messenger channel or a mailing list. I can post a link when we're done, so people can find me if they want to follow my music, because I have a lot of fun stuff coming up. Actually, now I'm recording some songs, some children's songs that I'm translating to both Swedish, Spanish, and English. So I will probably release them under another name, though. And then I'm also working on another acoustic EP. So a lot of things coming up.
Cool. Yeah. Well, do you going to post it on Whaleshares as well? Because we'll be smart, I think.
Yeah, if I get from the waiting list to become an actual user, of course.
Then I have good news for you, but I will
Awesome.
text you that later. So, yeah, thank you, and looking forward to it. So, Freedom, back to you then.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Savo, and thank you, John Magnuson. That was some great music I just heard there. Really enjoyed it. Thank you very much for that. Awesome stuff. Right, okay. Thanks for that update, IntelliGuy. Yes, we're getting towards the end of the show. Some people have left, but 23 people still in. Well done, everyone. It is last 10 minutes of the show, and I am coming up to do the last ever community curation segment. But before I do that, just to remind, in fact, just to tell you guys, next week I'm on holiday, so there is no Whaleshares Blue Report show. I've been doing these shows for almost a year now, and I need just a week off to recharge the batteries. And I think I've earned my week off, so I'm going to have a week off. There isn't going to be a Whaleshares Blue Report show next week, but don't worry, because we will be back. I will be back with the revamped Whaleshares Blue Report show. That will be in 2 weeks today. But yes, I do need a holiday myself sometimes. But as I say, no show next week, but we'll be back the week after, which will be literally on the eve of general launch of Whaleshares. So that's going to be an exciting one. And as I say, we're going to have that new segment all sorted out by then in this show. And I'm really looking forward to that. So just to tell you guys, don't be too upset, guys. Look at Samo being all sarcastic again. Who is this Samo character? We need to have a word with him or her. He or she was being very sarcastic before. Not really a community player there, but maybe we can identify that individual later on. I know you will, Samist. I know you will. But don't worry, you'll get over it, I'm sure. Right, okay. Well said, Coin Runner. Yes, well said indeed. Right, okay. I am going to therefore move on and get on with the final ever community creation segment. Who can I ask first? Who was I going to ask first? I'm going to ask Crystal Human. Crystal Human, do you have a post you'd like to share? And for those of you that don't know how this works, we're going to just have a few posts. I'm then going to ask you guys to grade these posts from A to F. You're literally the judge. You're assessing these posts, and whoever gets the best marks gets 15 whale coins. So who was I asking? Crystal Human, are you there? Oh, I like that, Crystal Human. Tell us about it.
All right, everybody can hear me good, right?
We can hear you.
All right, just making sure. Yeah, this is just my first Whaleshares post. Just wanted to, give a shout out to a few of you guys and a big thank you and talk about how excited I am for the new platform, and I'm really looking forward to what's to come. Who knows what that could be? I mean, we could all be millionaires in the next year. Who really knows? So I'm looking forward to it.
So the title is From Wheelchairs to Whaleshares. What do you mean by that? Tell us a bit more.
Well, the idea kind of behind that is obviously we're kind of broke over here in a third world country. We don't have a lot of money. So I was thinking like maybe Whaleshares might be the fix for our disabled economic situation.
Oh, okay. So you're kind of using the term metaphorically. May I ask which country you're in?
We're in Trinidad right now, next to Venezuela, just off the coast.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Well, yeah, hopefully Whaleshares will certainly help you out. I'm loving, as I think other people are, that cover image. I'm a bit mesmerized by it, but I do find it very relaxing going through that endless tunnel.
Yeah, I just use that to kind of represent the endlessness of Whaleshares, actually, and you just never know what you're going to run into, and it's an untraveled road, so it's just kind of the idea.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it is untraveled, and hopefully Whaleshares will go on forever and ever. I like it. I like it very much. All right, anything else you want to say about your post?
Not much. That about wraps it up. Thank you, Freedom, and everybody else.
You are very welcome. Okay, guys, there it is. Get grading, please. Grade that post, A to F. What do you think? A, is it an A? Is it a C? Is it a B plus? I don't know. You tell me. Straight away we've got an A there. That's nice. An A plus. Steam Dad being very generous there. Marshall, A's there. All A's count. A double plus. You can't have double plus. There's only one plus. But and because I love everyone, yeah. I think I am having seen that. No, I'm not. Do you know what, Bushy? I was a bit worried about looking at that picture. I thought I don't want to look at it too long, but actually, it's not that bad. You look at it; it's quite relaxing. I'm quite enjoying looking at that cover image. Okay. By the way, that person where was she? What was her name? Or he? Samo SK. She or he is not in the voice chat. So he or she wasn't listening to me. She just came in and said yawns, and then she left again. But hey, it's a contribution of sorts. But there we go. Look at this. PowerPix is going for it with the ticks and the 90. He's got in every type of assessment criteria you can use. He's got it. I love it. That's great. All right. Okay. Good stuff. I'm gonna move on. But you did quite well there, Crystal Human. Some good grades. But I'm gonna move on. I'm going to. Who can I pick on next? LCR. I'm gonna pick on LCR. LCR, are you there? You've got a post, haven't you? You just put one up or something.
Hey, how are you, Freedom?
Shall I answer your question or not?
Yes, it's right there. It's my very first Whaleshare post. That's what I have to show. For me, it's very important because for the very first time, I consider myself an early adopter of a platform like the Whaleshares, which is very, very cool. I have a lot of respect for this community. I am very, a low profile type of dude. I don't like to talk too much about myself, but in this post, I did it out of respect and appreciation for the community because of all the great people I have met here. So yes, I talk a little bit of what I do, and that's it. That's for you guys. Thank you.
Oh, well, that's good, LCR. We've learned a bit more about you because you are a little bit of a closed book sometimes, aren't you? You don't give too much away. But I'm just looking through the post. You even tell us a bit about your career. Wow, I didn't know that about you. Oh, well, that's good. I'm glad we're learning more about you, and I'm pleased. I'm even more pleased that you've done it in your first ever post on Whaleshares. But I'm delighted that you've come on board right at the start. You are indeed an early adopter. Feels good, doesn't it, LCR?
Yes, of course, feels good, especially when I am with all of you guys in the same boat.
Indeed, absolutely. I think this is a really nice post. Whaleshares Bodyguard has given you. Why has he gone back to Whaleshares Bodyguard? I thought he was Marshall. Anyway, he's given you 4 A's. Not bad. Got an A+ from Savo there. Why not? I think that's a really nice post, actually, LCR. Nice one from the heart there, which is what we like. More grades, please, people. AAA there from Steam Dan. I do like the way how creative you are with your marking. I just wouldn't be this creative, but I've really enjoyed it. We've got an A tick. Is that from Sweeney? I don't know. Split personality disorder. Crazy vote is crazy approved. Nice, good stuff. Yes. Okay. LCR, anything else you want to say about your post?
No. Just keep going. We have low time. That's for you guys. Tonight I'm gonna say I love you all.
That's right, because you're quite selective with your love, aren't you? You normally end with, what's the phrase you normally use? Is it love most of you or something?
I love most of you. Yeah, correct.
But you deliver the line so well. It sounds so sarcastic. You wrap up this really nice warm ending, and then you go, and I give my love to most of you. Well, I'm delighted you've given it to all of us. That's extra special. Okay, some good grades going up the screen there. Right, I'm going to pick on one more. Who am I going to pick? I better pick on Crystal Pacheco. Crystal, are you there?
Hi, I'm ready to be picked on.
Good stuff. You know how this goes. Ready for the abuse?
As always.
Let's take a look. Oh, high knees. Tell us. Oh, fitness post. Cool.
Yes, this is just another fitness post. It is not my first Whaleshares post, but it's the first one since the new that has launched, and it's just talking about how I struggle with cardio. Being overweight or obese person, they probably will realize it's really hard to do cardio. It's easier to do weights because it's you're not doing all that jumping around, you carry so much. So I talk about my struggles, how I modify, how much I've improved and what I'm hoping on to improve. I even did a steemit chart of all the cardio and core moves that were in there, just to try to like show you all the intense cardio things. Do modify most of them just because my cardio is my weakest point, but I'm working on it, and that's pretty much what I talked about.
Yeah, it's you know, I mean, I'm just reading halfway through the post how you hate the high knees, and I can see what I mean. You know, anything that you hate, though, I have to say, it goes back to that phrase or that saying, you know, no pain, no gain, doesn't it? And you've got to keep telling yourself, no matter how difficult you find it or how much you hate it, it's got a benefit for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, and when I first did my first hit routine, like I couldn't walk for like I was like sore for 3 days. And so I learned very quickly that I need to modify and not, go too crazy, too fast, but you still need to do the hard, because the hard work, believe it or not, you will lose. It's not going to be immediate, but you slowly but surely, if you do it safely, you will lose it little by little. And when I first started this journey, going up the steps, I barely could catch my breath. I can run up and down the steps now and without second. So
there you go. Well, there you go. There you go. There is the evidence that you need.
Yeah, and that's why I try to tell people, even if you just start walking or something like Zumba, whatever you start, whatever is good for you, just do it. And before you know it, you're going to be able to do things you didn't think you could do, and you'd be surprised what you can accomplish. And just don't give up. If you're overweight, trust me, I understand. From somebody that was very obese, it's really hard, but you can get.
Well, this is it, Crystal. You've pushed yourself, and you've done it, and you've seen the rewards for pushing yourself, haven't you?
Yes, I mean, I lost 100 pounds, but I'm still like overweight. My goal is 170. Not that right now, since I can't eat as healthy as I can, I'm just like in maintenance mode. But since this is like a super hard workout, it's keeping me at the same weight, which is good. I'm not gaining, and that's the important thing. Even though I'm in a lot of starches because my funds are low, but I'm still doing the hard work, and it seems to be paying off. And no, Sweeney, I lost 100 pounds a few years ago, like over altogether, because I used to be 300, now I'm 200, and I'm hoping one day I can get to 170 to be out of the overweight stage. That's the next phase.
Yeah, that's still an achievement, absolutely. That's good to hear, because when people do see that once you put the effort in, you do get a result as you've got, that I think that inspires other people. So it's fantastic to see the evidence there. Good stuff indeed. Indeed, it is a big achievement. All right, guys, I'd like a grade for this post, please. This is the final post of the final ever community curation. So be generous, please. I think Crystal's done some great stuff there, so be very generous. I'd like to see some grades. I've got A+, that's not bad. 4 crazy coins. A+++ from Coin Runner. He's very generous. Lots of A's, lots of A+. Good stuff. Good stuff indeed. I gave everyone my crazy votes. Did you, Power Picks? Nice. Hey, we've got more A's coming in. Yes, absolutely. I think so. I think it's well deserved indeed, Crystal. Awesome stuff. Okay, I shall put the link to that post up one more time. It's a very inspiring post. Well done, Crystal. But that indeed wraps up the show for this week. It's been, as I said, the last 24 hours have been unbelievably amazing. And I hope as we onboard more and more people, it's going to be amazing for lots of other people as well. Really looking forward, very excited about the Whaleshares platform. It's an unbelievable time for crypto, and us guys, it really does feel like a privilege to be part of this community. Delighted we finally got Whaleshares off the ground. And as I say, no show next week, but we return the following week on the eve of general launch. Really looking forward to that one. There is the Promote Your Post show this Sunday. Cotterin will be hosting that one. So if you do want to promote some of your posts, please do go along to it. We shall be doing both Steemit and Whaleshares posts. So you can do both still for now. We're still accepting Steemit posts. So feel free to go along to that. That is on Sunday, of course. Tomorrow there is the Spanish Promote Your Post show. And then Saturday, I'm not sure if I read somewhere that the BTS or the EOS Hangouts is not going on. I wonder if PowerPix could just clarify that. If not, launch party only. Oh, that's right, of course. My word, yes, of course. Saturday, it's the launch party, the Whaleshares launch party, 9 a.m. EST. I think that's 1 p.m. UTC, because I think it was 2 p.m. British time. Yeah, 1 p.m. UTC. Yeah. So there we go. If you want to go to the official Whaleshares launch party, it's on Saturday. Get to it. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to do my best to get to it as well. Really looking forward to that. But no EOS talk Saturday. Or BTS talk if they're still doing it on Saturday, I don't know. But it's just the Whaleshares party only. Looking forward to that one for sure. So there we have it, guys. Don't forget, please go ahead, DM me your BitShares username and I'll get you all some Whalecoins. Hold on to them Whalecoins. Don't use them just yet because you're not going to get much for them because the system isn't fully up and running anyway. So just keep holding on to them. Yes, go ahead, DM me your BitShares username now. Right, guys, that wraps up the show. Good to have your company. It's been a great show. Don't forget, if you've got any questions, any issues at all, whatever, go into Whaleshares General. Lots of people there will give you a hand and will answer your questions. So that's it. Until, 2 weeks for me. I'm on holiday. I'm gonna enjoy my time off, and I shall see you guys soon. Take care.